draw the curtains on our tenure is how well have we utilized the resources in our care. Remember that I had indicated that the concept of resource is linked with the notion of stewardship. How much better are the lives of our citizens today? And it's important to ask that question. What legacies will we be leaving behind? Have we arrived at our El Dorado? Is Nigeria, we now have power, we now have machines all over, we now have industrialization. Why are some of you in UK and not in Nigeria? Why do we want scholarship to study overseas when there should be universities that should be able to compete with other universities in the world? We need to ask ourselves those questions, and you actually will get the answers, and not me. If not, are we getting anywhere close? When I assumed office as governor, my team and I made a pledge to render transparent and accountable stewardship anchored on good governance and integrity. This was a goal we set as we had watched our nation suffer from the effects of a mono economy, worse still, coming from a state that is the center of the oil and gas industry, but whose populace suffered the negative impact of oil exploration. It was important that we created new opportunities for our people, not just to survive, but to excel as well. Our administration's opportunity to govern Rivers State did not come easy. Therefore, it was imperative that we address the issues of underdevelopment and poverty. In these respects, we set out to tackle the issue of poor service delivery caused by weak governance structures and leadership, which had left the populace wary of government and its promises. Our administration therefore focused on rebuilding confidence in government by focusing on fast-tracking development. We drew up an agenda geared towards rebuilding our state from the foundations. This required addressing the basic issues of education, healthcare, and physical security. Don't forget, what is seen here is physical security. And when we discuss security, we will discuss what I call social security and physical security. If you don't address social security, you can never achieve physical security. And what do I refer to as social security? You must address hunger, you must address poverty. A man who is hungry will do anything to address hunger, because if he doesn't eat, he will die. So if he takes a risk of robbing, he may likely die or he may not die. So we'll address those issues. Now let us address education. At the base of the educational agenda is the tripod: literacy, numeracy, and life skills. Our educational agenda seeks to provide a proper education beginning from scratch. We identified that the problems of our young people began from a destroyed foundation. The educational system was in a very bad state, but worse off was primary education. Owing widespread poverty, many children could not stay in school, and even when they did, have the right quality of education. As their parents could not afford the price for good quality education, we have 500 primary schools at various stages of construction, and we'll begin commissioning 250 by October. And you know, if you follow my government, I dislike commissioning. But when oppositions who want money begin to mount, I then want to commission so that the public will see what we're doing. So from October, we'll start commissioning 250 primary schools, one per day, to show the world that we challenge those who have governed before us or who are going to govern after us to try and beat our record. All the children in our primary schools have free uniforms, free school sandals, free school bags, and free textbooks, and that includes free tuition. Beyond primary education, the administration is building 24 modern secondary schools equipped to prepare students for life in the 21st century. One of the schools had commenced operations. We also plan to renovate and upgrade existing secondary schools. 8 schools from different parts of the state are in the first phase of this program. Finally, plans are at advanced stage to build a new campus of the state university within an environment conducive to learning and research. The next thing we dealt with was healthcare. We are also addressing issues regarding healthcare delivery, beginning with the provision of primary healthcare facilities. Our aim is to provide a facility within every ward to make for accessibility and thus improve healthcare delivery. My administration has completed and commissioned 60 facilities. Another 70 facilities are due for commissioning in the last quarter of this year. Again, we want to commission 70 health centers in 70 days as a response to those who criticize us. And don't forget, situate their criticism on sharing of our resources to their private pockets, what Nigerians refer to as the stomach infrastructure. If you listen to those, if you listen to those who have criticized me, they have never said he's not done well. All they have said is he's doing road, he's doing. What about our own? What about how do you include us? And when they say you're running an inclusive government, I thought that if you want to run an inclusive government, you talk about stakeholders engagement. And when you do stakeholders engagement, that is inclusion. You want to know from the people what they think the government should do and where we're doing badly. And we do that regularly with town hall meetings and all that. And we give account of how much we receive, how much we spend. But that's not what they want. These are politicians who pass through universities and they have degrees. But having served in government and they're getting broke again, they want to come back to government because that's the only avenue by which they can make their own living. So you have Nigerian politicians who never quit politics, not because they are better leaders, not because they can provide anything else, because they've been given an opportunity, but because that is the only way by which they can survive. They don't want to give people the opportunity. You know, there's this joke in Nigeria about somebody walking into, was it President Babangida or Obasanjo, walking into a classroom, and then he was said, "You children are future." And they are still living till today. So the child asks, is that our teacher lied to us? Or what? So these are the actual people who don't want to leave the leadership for you, the younger ones, to come. I'm 48. It gets to a stage where I need to quit and let my children take over. I shouldn't be competing with my children in a meeting room discussing politics. I said, my administration has completed and commissioned 60 facilities, and that's 70 facilities are due for commission in the last quarter of this year. In addition to the primary care facilities, we have built referral facilities in Port Harcourt. There is Professor Kelsey Harrison Hospital, and there is the Dental Maxillofacial Hospital. Subject to completion of the processes under the public procurement regime, construction works will commence on another referral facility in Port Harcourt called the AK Hart Memorial Hospital. We plan for such facilities in 4 major towns in the state: Akoda, Bori, Degema, and Okehi. In addition to the construction and equipping of healthcare facilities, we are also interested in the development of capacity for this facility. With support from the federal government under the Millennium Development Goals Scheme, we are constructing a modern school of nursing in Port Harcourt. The administration has also proposed specialist training programs for medical personnel in the state civil service. To tell you, last week we received 32 or 35 doctors that were trained in Russia via this scholarship program. I've not met with them. My people have tried to make me meet with them. I said, no, it's this same culture of they have to thank me for giving them the scholarship. I believe it's their right to be so educated by the Rivers State government. Then the next thing we did focus on is agriculture. The administration is also involved in agriculture, tackling the twin problems of food security and employment generation. We collaborated with the founder of the Songhai Initiative to develop a facility suitable for agro-tourism, as well as training of farmers in Bunu Tai, Rivers State. We are developing modern fish farms in 4 local government areas of the state. The pilot farm, with a capacity for 1,000 tons of fish per annum, is located in Buguma. It's nearing completion, and we are going to commission it between October and November. Why we've not commissioned it, they are trying to get the gentleman who gave us the loan, and that is the governor of CBN. Once he's available, he will come and commission it, since we got the 1.5 billion naira loan from the CBN. Infrastructure. We engage in massive infrastructural development to encourage businesses. The only one we did not do is the stomach infrastructure, so you won't see it here. This administration is conscious of the loss of time and other resources occasioned by traffic congestion, and following professional advice, has undertaken the construction of major roads, highways, and bridges across the state. Road projects commenced by the previous administration are continuing toward completion. We have also invested in power generation in the state. In the last 18 months, we have embarked aggressive intervention with respect to distribution to ensure that residents and businesses in the state enjoy the benefits of the investment in power generation. However, the activities of vandals have continued to undermine efforts in these respects. Framework for sustainability. However, all the infrastructure and provision of amenities appear like dealing with the symptoms rather than the problem itself. For any society to transit from poverty, developments relating to wealth creation, poverty alleviation, and robust economy must be sustained. For this to happen, strong institutions and the appropriate legal and regulatory frameworks need to be put in place. This is when reform begins to make sense and have far-reaching implications. Realizing this, therefore, we are putting in place appropriate frameworks that will guarantee the sustenance of the work we are doing, encourage investment, and expand the economy of our state. Rivers State Sustainable Development Strategy. Under the strategy, this administration has set up the Rivers State Sustainable Development Agency, through which interventions in the areas of capacity building and agriculture are implemented. In fact, most of those who are on scholarship come under the Rivers State Sustainable Development Agency. There are 2 kinds of scholarship we award in Rivers State. One, directly from the scholarship board, and not too many people will go there. And then the second one was the one I introduced myself through the Rivers State Sustainable Development Agency, that it guarantees those who qualify to study overseas. It's a temporary measure. Until we finish building our university, we will continue to send about 300 children every year to UK and Canada. We are trying to quit Canada because when our doctors graduate, they give them citizenship. And for that reason, we are moving them. We are going to focus on UK and Europe instead of Canada, because I don't want to spend money and then don't have the children back to work in my state or my country. So that's where the Sustainable Development Agency comes in. Additionally, initiatives on the wealth creation and poverty reduction through measures such as the microfinance and venture capital and private equity financing are being pursued. On July 17 to 18, 2013, we held a summit on wealth creation and poverty reduction. The executive bill for the law to establish the framework for the venture financing is ready, and we will send it to the State Assembly when our opponents allow the Assembly to work, because we want to be able to set up the venture capital where individuals, anybody in the world, can take a loan. We'll set aside 5 billion naira every year for anybody in the world to take a loan, but your company must be situated in Port Harcourt so that it can create employment for our people. We're not discriminating for even a white man can take that loan, but we want you to establish that company right there in River State so that you can absorb people who come from River State or who live in River State. Public procurement reforms. In line with our goal to render transparent and accountable stewardship of the resources of the state in 2008, the state enacted a public procurement law as part of the broader governance reforms and the subset of the public finance management reforms. We had stated that weak governance structure predated our administration. One way of improving governance was enactment and implementation of legislation aimed at improving outcomes from public expenditures, particularly in the face of limited resources and competing demands. Our public procurement reforms seek to improve the return on investment or the public value of public expenditure by insisting on planning prior to every expenditure, such that the purpose of the expenditure must be clarified and the potential impacts, economic, social, and environment clearly identified. The reforms revolve around the fundamental issues of accountability, transparency, equity, timeliness, economy, efficiency, fitness for purpose, and value for money. That's what our public procurement law completely identifies. The reforms have introduced the need for evaluation of every expenditure to ascertain whether the purpose was met and whether the benefits to the people of the state justify the expenditure. With the reforms, the dangers of bloated costs of projects and abandoned projects are being checked. One challenge from the reforms is that operators have been slow in embracing the demands, with the result that there is delay, which is not good for time-bound administration in the face of pressing needs of the state. Public-private partnership. In the face of limited resources, the administration has chosen to revive businesses and put to use wasting assets belonging to the state through the engagement of the private sector. This has led to the revitalization of the Reason Palm oil palm estate. In fact, if you looked at the advertorial by my critics who said they have sold Reason Palm, shows how limited, what knowledge that they have. Let's even assume that I sold Reason Palm. What's wrong in selling Reason Palm? Reason Palm is an investment that lasted for so many years, and no profit was gotten by the state government. Instead, government was spending 200, 300, 400 million every year. And then the company approaches us and says, give me 40 years lease, and I'll revive Reason Palm. And we give 40 years lease to the company. The investment is still ours, but they revived the company. They employ, as I'm talking now, they've employed 5,000 workers. By the last time I visited Reason Palm, a gentleman had committed suicide for not being able to have the money to bury his wife. So for leasing it out to a company, individuals will go to the press and say, I've sold Reason Palm. It shows how limited their knowledge is and what they mean for River State. Now, I say this because Reason Palm, as I'm talking to you today, has hired 5,000 workers. Government has put no more cover. When I came in, they were putting money regularly, and the company had met me and said, bring more money. And I said, I won't bring any money. I want somebody to come and take over the Reason Palm, and that has happened. We have leased a major shopping complex belonging to the state to a proven operator. When I came, Superboard, oh, don't touch it, Superboard. They will shoot the governor. I said, yeah, they can shoot me as governor, but I must lease it out. We've leased it out, and by the end of this year, you have a shopping mall there. They are working. By the end of the year, you have a modern shopping mall. That's one of the accusations. Oh, he has sold Superboard. And I asked the question, Superboard has stayed 40 years, more than 40 years. Nobody has ever gotten anything out of Superboard. Now that we have leased it out for another 40 years, people are complaining. The only people who can complain are those who have ulterior motives. So I say we have leased a major shopping complex belonging to the state to the proven operator. Excessive renovations are going on preparatory to the commencement of operation by the end of the year. Similarly, the state has collaborated with a Mexican firm to commence a banana plantation with capacity to provide direct employment for over 2,000 persons. We also, in partnership with the LRO Group from Israel, in connection with an integrated farm at Eche, All of these are pointers to our determination to reduce unemployment and encourage economic growth. The importance of security to our developmental agenda is self-evident. Without security, it will be difficult to undertake developmental projects. Security is critical. The administration has provided support to the security agencies in the areas of logistics and equipment, as well as training to enhance their capacity to provide security for residents. In collaboration with the federal government, the state had acquired equipment to provide area surveillance and protection for the state and economic activities within the state, particularly the oil production activities. Our focus on security is inevitable, as that is the first responsibility of the state to guarantee the lives and properties of its citizens, individuals and corporates. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, the key thrust of our reform and governance intervention is to prepare our citizens to depend less on oil, a non-renewable resource. We need an educated and healthy population and appropriate institutions insulated with the right legislations against the vagaries of political reversal. To achieve this, we need to build a cleaner way of applying oil revenue through new ways of doing government business, guided by openness and transparency, so that our people can get value for money. In Rivers State, we can say that by the end of our tenure, we would have laid the foundations for a takeoff of a more sustainable non-oil economy and hopefully have fulfilled our mission to guarantee our people's future. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you very much indeed for that speech. The Governor has provided a broad range by talking distinctly about reform, resources and governance, and would you be prepared to answer some questions on that? So may I ask anyone who wishes to ask a question to put up their hand, and